Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/Surviving Infidelity, where OP's cheating wife had a one-night stand. Let's begin. The remorse is what hurts the most. Posted by Reddit user Drowning in Remorse.
So here comes a bit of a rant, but I have to get it off my chest. My wife and I have been together for 8 years, married 5 years, and D-Day were 2 weeks ago. A little background to make some things a little clearer later on. We were both really into the punk music scene, and that's how we met and how we spent a lot of our time. As time went on, I lost interest in / grew out of going to concerts and shows, but my wife still enjoys going. So 2 weeks ago, there was a concert she wanted to go to. I as usual passed, but she went with some friends of ours, and like always I told her to have a good time. Later in the night, I get a Snapchat from one of the friends at the concert. It's of the other friend at the bar, acting strange with the text over it, WTF. I'm a little confused why they sent it to me, but then the camera pans and zooms to my wife talking to a guy, and it looks like they are really enjoying each other's company. Nothing physical, just really close talking, but very flirtatious looking. I try texting them, asking what's going on, but I don't get an answer from them. I start texting my wife, but also, no answer. I honestly trusted my wife, and even though the text over the video was troubling, I reassure myself everything is okay and try to get some sleep. But it's not okay. I can barely sleep, and if I do happen to doze off, I wake up with a tight gut, checking my phone for messages, but there's nothing. I hear the door open around 4 in the morning, along with soft sobbing. I'm in bed at this moment, and my heart is pounding. She comes into the bedroom, sits by my side, I'm kind of pretending to be asleep, and she shakes me saying we need to talk. She tells me she slept with someone else that night. My whole world literally shattered in the time it took to say that sentence. My blood felt on fire, like I was getting needle pin pricks all over my body. I'm just sitting there in this pain. She reached for my hand, and I pulled away. She is crying and says she's sorry, regrets it, remorseful, all that. Because deep down, I wanted her to visually see how hurt I am. I ask for details. She tells me they met at the show, talked and hit it off. She said she lost herself, and it felt like our first date all over again. I asked about what our friends did. She tells me they tried to pull her away, but she lied to them and said he was an old friend and they were catching up. She left the concert with him and went to his place to have sex. After having sex, she says she fell asleep for a bit and then woke up feeling, what have I just done? She's crying and tells him she has to go and says she cried the entire cab ride back. I start with the how could you, why did you? All that. Her only explanation was she got those first date feelings again and he reminded her of me when we first met. We had a wonderful marriage. Lots of affection, communication, love and understanding. She had no issues with the marriage. This was all one big mistake. I know she regrets it. I know how remorseful she is. And that is what hurts the most. I could understand if I was slipping as a husband, if she was unhappy. But everything was fine. She's been very honest with everything, and in the past 2 weeks, has taken a lot of shit from friends and family. Every day I can see it on her face, how much she wishes she could change the things she did, and how much she wants to reconcile. Yesterday when I woke up, I lay in bed, and I was feeling good, must have had a good dream or something, and I thought of all the good we had, and how I shouldn't let this ruin our, and what we both thought was a great marriage. I was actually kind of smiling, and I went to go tell her I want to work on this. But as soon as I saw her, it all went away. I'm going to file for divorce. Sorry for the wall of text. I really needed to vent this somewhere, instead of screaming it into a pillow. I chopped down details, because it was looking too long.
OP, listen to your gut. If you don't feel like you could ever trust her again, file for divorce. Don't bottle up how you feel. Your wife knew exactly what she was doing. She knew what the end results will be when they started flirting. She completely ignored you and the 2 friends that are trying to stop her from cheating in the first place. She was looking for something extra, some fun on the side, and she went for it. She knew her friends would tell you if she didn't, so she confessed to beat them to the punch. She may feel bad now, sure, but it was a conscious decision. If I were in your shoes, I would definitely file for divorce immediately. If you forgive her now and stayed, Don't be surprised if she cheats on you again in a few months. It will eat you up from the inside. Never put up with this shit again. Never trust a cheater, OP. It would definitely be a huge mistake on your part. I know you already have this in your mind, but I just wanted to say it out loud just in case. She intended to cheat on you from the very beginning, and she knew that it would end up with them having sex. She knew that because she wanted it to happen, regardless of the people she's going to hurt or the consequences of her actions. This is not a mere accident. She didn't even bother to hide it from your friends, but she knew you would be suspicious if she's coming back at 4 in the morning because it will serve as evidence of what she did, evidence of her infidelity. Then, she just told you her truth, not by remorse. It's only because it was the best strategy to get you to accept her story before you can learn the real truth from her friends. All this predatory and planned behavior, honestly, OP, it looks like it was not the first time she did this. It's not like she had been seduced for a long time and you had problems in your marriage. My guess is that she had always been having these one-night stands whenever she meets a Chad in the concerts she's been attending. I mean, it was like nothing to her. Her friends were even stopping her from doing it, but she didn't care. So that, for me, shows a usual pattern, a behavior that's been going on for quite some time. Look, OP, it's not my place to say whether you should file for divorce or not. That's your decision alone to make. But please, for the love of God, get yourself checked for STDs, man. It's better to be safe than sorry. I guess we can move on to OP's update. He did post a short one after all, so let's check it out.
Just some quick background. D-Day was early March, wife had a one-night stand, came home and told me the night of. I have my sights pretty much set on divorce. I intended on doing this a little sooner, but I kind of got carried away working on myself. About 2 weeks from my last post, early April, she moved out. And honestly, it feels like a curse has been lifted. That month of her being here and having to see her every day and being reminded of what she did ruined me. I was depressed, crazy mood swings. All of the sudden, I just feel flush with anger. But now that she's gone, I'm not dreading coming home anymore or waking up in the morning. I'm getting out, working on stuff around here, have energy. It's been nice. She moved in with her mom, who is probably the only person who would take her while she finds an apartment or until I take her back, which won't be happening. My friends have been very helpful and supportive throughout all this. Only a few are still really talking to her, even though they don't condone what she did. I ran into one of these friends, who is also a coworker of hers, and she told me she's not doing well. Depressed, not doing well at her job, etc. As much as I don't wish her any specific misery, I can't say I didn't take a little bit of joy in hearing that. I did ask her if she gave her a reason to why she did it. Pretty much got the same answer I did, although she added she felt like being selfish and wanted to be single again for a night, which she deeply regrets now. Which brings me to therapy. I decided not to go to therapy because when she left the house, I started getting out of my funk, and like I said, I have a great support group with my friends. She wanted to do couples therapy, but I turned her down and suggested she go on her own to figure herself out. A lot of people have been asking me why I'm so easily giving up on this marriage. I know there's people out there who move on from something like this, but I just can't. If I stayed with her, it would infect me. Over time, it would spread, and I would just become hollow. That's not something I want and would rather start new. Do I miss her? Yes. But I miss my wife. Before she cheated on me, the person she is now is something else. This may have been a bit rambling, just trying to get most of the big points out there without it going too long. All in all, I'm doing good for the most part, working on making myself happy again. I choose to survive this infidelity on my own.
Okay, let me just repeat myself here. Her own friends tried to stop her from cheating. You texted her, but she ignored you. I guess somewhere deep down she somehow deluded herself that you would forgive her for cheating on you because in her own words, it was just a mistake, right? Well, no, If you think about it, it was a lot of mistakes. Meeting the guy, talking to him, started flirting with him, started getting physical, argue with her friends, ignoring your texts, going to the guy's house, and then having sex with him. I find the ignoring your text part was the worst. You get information from her friends that your wife is flirting with another guy. And what did your wife do? She ignores you and decided to fuck another man, despite her knowing that you already know what she's up to. I think it's the equivalent of her saying to you, I want this guy and your feelings doesn't matter to me, while flipping you the bird. Am I right? So, is it really just one mistake? Nah, I don't think so. There were a lot of decisions that she has to make to get to where she eventually got to. You are not the one throwing your marriage away, OP. Your wife did. She threw it away when she decided that she wanted to be single for a night. I'm not surprised at all that you are much happier now that you are separated from your cheating wife. If others can't accept your decisions, then maybe you should consider if those people belong in your life in the first place. Good luck, OP. Keep your chin up. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.